Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens 2. Rebirth of Emperor Yang Part 43 based on novel. So let's start. As time passed, the medicine refining masters meeting was close at hand. The day Xiao Yan had been looking forward to for a long time was finally coming. The wild ancient city attracted attention, and another hot wave was about to surge. On the bed, Xiao Yang's figure trembled slightly. Then, Xiao Yang's figure disappeared in the inn. On the horizon, a space was slightly twisted, and Xiao Yang's figure slowly emerged, but he was not the first person to stand on the void. At this moment, on this horizon, there are already dozens of strong men with thick and solid breath standing in the void, and these people. Among them, those with the lowest strength have the strength of 1.5-star emperors, while those with the strongest strength have reached the terror level of 8.5-star emperors. Such a lineup can be called terror. The appearance of Xiao Yan obviously surprised these guys for a moment, and after seeing Xiao Yang's face, many people frowned slightly. Such a suckling boy dares to climb on the void. Do you really think anyone at this level can come up? But the next moment, after they noticed the obscure breath on Xiao Yang, they all turned pale again. Xiao Yang's breath was no worse than some of them. This looks like a young guy, but he is also a strong semi-emperor. When people were surprised at Xiao Yang's strength, human shadow crossed the void and came to Xiao Yang. Before people arrived, the sound like a flood of thunder had already come, which made the world tremble. Ha ha, brother Yang Xiao, I haven't seen you for a few days. Your momentum is even stronger. Ha ha. As soon as he said this, all the semi-imperial strong men standing in the void immediately understood. No wonder he was so powerful at a young age. He was the most famous rock owl in the wild ancient city recently. As a result, the people also added a little admiration to Xiao Yang's eyes. Even some people's eyes already had pure glass and took the initiative to set up a close relationship with Xiao Yang. Recently, the supreme strength of Emperor Xiao Yang is not the focus of his reputation. What really shocks him is his peerless and exquisite medicine refining skill. At a young age, they not only reached the terrible half-imperial realm, but also more than them. Together with refining medicine, they caught up with their predecessors and reached the second-order terror level of the imperial realm. You know, the second-order herbalist, these 8.5-star emperors among them, are very jealous of them. The pill refined by the second-order herbalist can be regarded as a peerless boutique in the eyes of everyone under the Do Emperor, which is of endless benefit to the improvement of strength. The real strength of the second-order herbalist can be seen here. Xiao Yang smiled boldly when he saw Qin Zhong coming face to face, but there was no need to be too formal in the face of such people, otherwise he would be seen as unhappy. Elder brother Qin Zhong hasn't seen him for a few days. Are you going to the herbalist meeting? Qin Zhong smiled again when he heard the speech and said with a laugh. It's natural. This session of the Herbalist Congress is very lively. If you don't go and have a look, you won't have such a good opportunity for nothing. They looked at each other again and smiled. They wanted to go in the direction of the medicine refining masters meeting, but another human shadow flew over. Look, this person is the Xianlao of Union Pavilion. He, brother Yang Xiao. How are you going all the way? Once Xuanlao's words were exported, Qin Zhong beside Xiao Yang was stunned. What kind of power is Union Pavilion? As the representative of Union Pavilion to participate in the herbalist meeting, Xianlao naturally represents the whole Union Pavilion, but he even asked Xiao Yang to go all the way. The meaning is self-evident. Xiao Yang was also stunned for a moment by the sudden voice of Xuanlao's words. Then he reacted, smiled and nodded, slowly opened his mouth and said with a smile. It's a blessing for me to be able to walk with Xianlao. Xianlao smiled noncommittally. The three moved, stepped on the void, and flew away towards the venue of the conference. When the three disappeared, the semi-imperial strong men in the sky came back and looked at the direction of Xiao Yang's disappearance for a long time. A moment later, the three of Xiao Yang had come to a wide square, which was really the largest square Xiao Yang had ever seen. I'm afraid it's difficult to occupy all the people in the wild ancient city. Therefore, we can imagine the breadth of the square. The most difference is that the square is actually standing in the endless void. Xiao Yan saw such a scene for the first time. He, little friend of Rock Owl, brother Xuanye and brother Qin Zhong, since the three are here, let's go to the top. As soon as the three of them went up to the void square and fell down, President Jiu Li noticed Xiao Yang's arrival and smiled at Xiao Yang. Seeing this, the three were also unpretentious. They followed Jiu Li to a grandstand. Union Pavilion, as the largest force in the wild ancient city, should be in the jury. Qin Zhong's strength is also a good generation. Although it is not as good as Xuanlao's jury, it is also a good seat. Only Xiao Yang has many means, but after all, he is a new guest of this wild ancient city, but his position is not. Brother Yang Xiao is to join me. With the strength of brother Yang Xiao, you should have your position on the jury. But those two people are also there. At the end of the voice, Jiu Li's voice was vaguely reminded, but Xiao Yang nodded and smiled. Since he had his own position, he didn't have to be polite. Even if Wei Yi and that Mo Shai were also there, was he afraid? When they sat down, Xiao Yan found that Xian Lao and he were also close to each other. His eyes narrowed slightly. He glanced at the red phosphorus made by one side, and thought flashed in his heart. I'm afraid Jiu Li deliberately arranged this position. Isn't this the younger brother of Yang Xiao, the new advanced second-class herbalist in our herbalist guild? Why, you can't help but show your skills when you have some superficial knowledge of high-level herbalists. In my opinion, you'd better go back and practice for a few more years. Hey, I haven't seen imperial pills yet. I'm thinking of refining them. It's really fantastic. The person who spoke was naturally Wei Yi, the chief herbalist of the Herbalist Association, and from his words, he could hear that he had a big prejudice against Xiao Yang. Hey, haven't you seen a few imperial pills, too? You're still showing off in front of a young generation. People won't miss such a good learning opportunity. It's you. After I'm Dan Cheng, I can also borrow you to watch, so as not to know nothing about the pill and be a frog at the bottom of a well all my life. As soon as the voice of Wei's words fell, another cold voice came out. For this person, Xiao Yang can know without looking. This person must be Mo Shai, the second-order herbalist near the city in the south. Dong. When Wei Yi wanted to speak to Mo Shai, a bell rang through the sky, but it spread slowly from the center of the square and spread over the empty square for a long time. In the middle of the square, Jiu Li, president of the Herbalist Association, stood in the void, his hands behind him, and his eyes scanned the whole square. Immediately, a vigorous and powerful voice came out of Jiu Li's mouth. I announce that the herbalist meeting begins. As soon as Jiu Li's voice fell, his mind moved, and the vast sea of terrible soul power swept out of his body and spread over the whole square. Then, thousands of stone platforms appeared out of thin air, suspended in the middle of the square, and there was Guli's soul power, releasing the terrible soul pressure. Under such circumstances, thousands of medicine refiners on the stand jumped one after another at this moment, and appeared on the suspended stone platform in a few flashes. As soon as they stepped on the stone platform, a terrible pressure like Mount Tai fell on them, making their bodies sink. Even some of them were unstable after struggling to support a few breaths and fell off the stone platform. Then those people were disqualified by Jiu Li and had to quit the field bitterly. Of course, most of these people obviously know a thing or two about the rules on the stone platform. At the moment when the threat of the soul attacks, there is an invisible soul force in the center of everyone's eyebrows which sweeps out in an instant, trying to resist the terrible threat of the soul. At the same time, I dare not relax at my feet. These stone platforms are suspended in the air, but it is not said that they are absolutely stable. Under the mutual resistance of the two forces, many stone platforms have begun to tilt. At this time, the second round of knockout competition has been officially announced. In just a moment, many people fell from the stone platform again. In less than an hour, nearly half of the people fell on the stone platform with a total of no less than thousands of people. At the moment, the people still standing on the stone platform are naturally not so relaxed. Although they can barely stabilize the stone platform under their feet, many of them still look shaky. If this round lasts a little longer, I'm afraid many people will fall off the stone platform. Of course, there are not those who have no strength. Among them, there are no less than 10 9-grade herbalists who stand proudly under the powerful soul pressure. Obviously, the pressure has not reached their limit for them, and this also makes Jiu Li, who has been observing the people, show a satisfied smile. On the stand, Xiao Yan was also amazed by this scene in the field. Such means can really make a quick decision. If Jiu Li's soul power really breaks out, these 8 or 9-grade herbalists can't bear it just because of Yu Wei. But now Jiu Li's such means is the fastest way to carry out the knockout. After these 2 rounds of knockout, it's time for real combat. The herbalist, who is best at medicine refining, is not the proud art of medicine refining. When the time of the second round comes, the soul pressure of Jiu Li that spread to the whole void square immediately recedes like a tide. Needless to say, the third round of alchemy officially begins. As far as Xiao Yang and others are concerned, the competition between them is like a child playing, and there is nothing to see. Therefore, after the medicine refining started, it was only a moment and Xiao Yang in the stands was already sleepy. If Jiu Li and others were not there, I'm afraid he would have turned around and left. In the twinkling of an eye, 4 hours have passed quietly. The people in the stands also look bored. At a glance, except for a few people, they almost fell asleep. Cough. Suddenly, the sound of a light cough was heard in the grandstand, and Xiao Yan was awakened by the noise of the light cough. He, Brother Wei Yi, you see, the game is so boring at the moment. You and I haven't seen each other for so many years. Now I'm curious about the strength between you and me. Why don't we play? The speaker is Mo Shai, who faces the city in the south. At the moment, Mo Shai looked at Wei Yi with a strange smile, played with the teacup in his hand, smiled and said, what can we say between you and me? I want to know my real strength. I'll see you at the meeting later. Wei Yi heard Mo Shai's words, but he gave a cold hum in his mouth, squinting at Mo Shai with a cold face. Mo Shai was not surprised at all. He raised his eyes to Wei Yi with disdain and said with a sneer, Why, Brother Wei Yi doesn't dare to compete with me. I think it's not that you don't want to expose your strength, but that you simply can't resist me. For so many years, your medicine refining technique is still in place. Mo Shai, you want to die? Mo Shai's provocative words also made Wei Yi's anger soar in an instant. His dry palm slapped the armrest of the stone chair, and Wei Yi's body also stood up. With a cold hum, Wei Yi's vigorous fighting spirit also surged in an instant, and the terrible breath belonging to 1.5-star emperor also swept out in an instant and bombarded Mo Shai. Hey, why do you still want to fight me? Will I be afraid of you? Seeing this, Mo Shai once again gave a sneer, and his heart moved. A terrible breath of overbearing was swept out of his body in an instant and blasted with Wei Yi's breath. Bang! With a bang, several strong men on the stand hurriedly flashed back, while Jiu Li looked at them with a gloomy face, but finally didn't say anything. Wei Yi looked at Mo Shai with a dignified face. For so many years, his strength has been stuck in 1.5-star emperor. I'm afraid it's impossible to make further progress, but now look at Mo Shai, his strength. But it has reached the point of 3.5-star emperors. On the surface, even compared with Xiao Yang, he already wants to be similar. How can he deal with such strength? Even if I'm not as powerful as you, I've never been afraid of anyone if I'm more powerful than my soul. When Mo Shai heard the speech, a bright light flashed in his eyes and said with a sneer, Oh, well, since you are confident that your soul power is not inferior to me, but you and I are herbalists after all, today, I'm going to play. This is something related to herbalists. As soon as the voice fell, Mo Shai's palm slowly lifted up, and then his heart moved. A blue flame appeared in Mo Shai's palm with a puff. Xiao Yan was also attracted by the flame and turned his eyes, and their eyes just touched each other. Mo Shai smiled again, and the sneer at the corners of his mouth was even worse. He slowly opened his mouth and said with a smile, Why don't you come with Brother Yang Xiao? Xiao Yan raised his eyebrows and narrowed his eyes to Mo Shai. Finally, he smiled and replied lazily, Not interested. At the moment, Mo Shai obviously wants to explore their real strength in advance. How can he easily let Xiao Yan go? It's boring to have more than 2 people. It's better for brother Yang Xiao to come together and add some bets. Isn't it interesting? As soon as the voice fell, Mo Shai turned his hand, and a piece of red and gold crystal appeared in Mo Shai's hand, and Xiao Yang's face finally changed again at this moment. Then Xiao Yang raised his eyes to Mo Shai and nodded heavily after staring at the crystal stone. On the void square, in front of the judge's table, Xiao Yang stood one by one. The movement in front of the table naturally attracted the attention of many viewers on the stand at the moment. But after seeing these 3 people, there was a look in their eyes. There is no need to say more about Wei Yi's identity. Hundreds of thousands of people in this scene are also very familiar with him. As the chief herbalist of Nanlincheng, they naturally know a little about him. After all, Xiao Yang has just obtained the qualification of a second-class herbalist. In everyone's opinion, Xiao Yang is just a quasi-second-class herbalist. Although he has some foundation, how can he stand side by side with Mo Shai? At the moment, this scene makes people draw their feet and fingers at Xiao Yang. Hey, but a guy who has just obtained the qualification of second-class herbalist, even if he has some strength, he dares to challenge Wei Yi and his predecessors in public. He really doesn't know heaven and earth. Cut. If Elder Yang Xiao dares to stand up, it shows that people are not afraid of Mo Shai. You know, people have signed up for the medicine refining conference. If they don't have strength, they may be here. Yes, I'm just jealous that Elder Yang Xiao is young but has this strength. You can practice with him if you have the ability. Yes, yes. The 3 new protagonists also aroused the heated discussion of many people, but after all, the people who finally supported Xiao Yang were even more. After all, Xiao Yang abused Li Gan, the ancestor of the Li family, a month ago. That guy is not a good thing in the eyes of the public. Today's medicine refining masters meeting is boring. Isn't he afraid of Xiao Yang? However, Xiao Yang and the others ignored the outsiders' hot discussion. After a long time, Mo Shai smiled at the corners of his mouth and slowly opened his mouth and said, "Since the 3 of us are all herbalists, you must be proficient in controlling the flame." Hearing Mo Shai's words, Wei Yi's nose also gave a cold hum. It was obvious that he was quite confident in his fire control skill, while Xiao Yang raised his eyebrows and looked at Mo Shai at will. Seeing this, Mo Shai smiled again and continued. "There is not much difference in soul power between the 3 of us. If we compete for soul power, I'm afraid it's difficult to compare what results, so we fight with our own flame. This is also a quick decision. How about it?" When Wei Yi heard this, he could not help but frown. He did not agree with Mo Shai's proposal. As for Xiao Yang, he was still very plain and non-committal. Seeing that they had no response, Mo Shai sneered at his mouth. He had great confidence in his flame. At least, Wei Yi's flame could not be compared with it. As for Xiao Yang, in his opinion, even if Xiao Yang is a second-class herbalist with the same strength as him, he is a young boy who has just come out of the mountain. What magic fire can he show? The idea flashed in his mind, and Mo Shai's mind moved. In the cyclone in his body, an extremely overbearing ink flame turned into a dragon snake. After a big turn shuttling through the meridians in Mo Shai's body, it hit out in his palm instantly to meet the storm, turned into a giant python hundreds of feet, hovering over the vast void, with awe-inspiring momentum. Once the dragon snake appeared, the many contestants sitting on the stone platform and refining medicine also made a stuffy sound in the medicine tripod of many people. It was obvious that less than half of the pills had just been destroyed in Mozi. At this moment, President Gu Li can't sit still. So many contestants are blocked from refining medicine. It's hard for him to explain at that time. "Mo Shai? What do you want to do in our herbalist guild? This is the herbalist guild, not a place for you to make trouble." Seeing Gu Li's angry face, Mo Shai sneered and said with a smile, "President Gu Li, don't you see that there are many people who continue to refine medicine? The reason why those people failed to destroy the pill just now is that they didn't concentrate enough when refining the pill. I picked out many elites for your medicine refining guild. Why don't you thank me? Instead, I blame them. You. President, what Brother Mo said is reasonable. Our medicine refining guild is not a shelter. Not everyone can go in and out at will. This time, Gu Li's words had not been spit out, but Wei Yi raised a mocking color at the corners of his mouth and sneered. When Mo Shai heard Wei's words, he also raised his eyebrows. It seems that the relationship between Wei Yi and Gu Li is really close to the enemy, as the outside world said. Wei Yi's words obviously made many herbalists in the competition a little gloomy. If Wei Yi wasn't powerful and the chief herbalist of the Herbalist Association, I'm afraid many people would rush to the jury to kill him at the moment. As soon as Wei's voice fell, his mind also moved. He opened his mouth, and a mass of cyan and gold flame turned into a pillar of fire in an instant, spraying out from his mouth and straight into the sky. In an instant, the blue and golden flame stood up with the dragon snake out of thin air. After several changes, it turned into a cruel-looking warcraft. It roared in the air and glared at the dragon snake. It seems that there must be a war between the two animals. When the two angry beasts boarded the sky, Missouri Shai and Qi looked at Xiao Yan with disdain. Brother Yang Xiao, since I and Brother Wei have shown their skills, it's time for you, Brother Yang Xiao. Mo Shai was obviously convinced that Xiao Yan could not bring out any well-known flame. Therefore, when he spoke, his voice was also very high, so that anyone on the square could listen really and turn his eyes unconsciously. Xiao Yan looked at Mo Shai's hand and looked a little cold in his eyes. He didn't provoke this guy. Although he attended the herbalist meeting, he wouldn't treat him like this. His eyes narrowed slightly. Xiao Yan stared at Mo Shai fiercely, but it made Mo Shai shiver unconsciously in his heart, but then Mo Shai smiled coldly at Xiao Yan, and his coldness for Xiao Yan dispersed. In Mo Shai's opinion, he is a second-class herbalist. Even if he is an 8-star and half emperor, he can't easily fight against him. Xiao Yan is only a 3-star and half emperor. Even if he has the strength to surpass 3 stars, it is absolutely impossible to take him. Ignoring Mo Shai's sneer, Xiao Yan at the moment only cares about the piece of Kaiyang crystal that Mo Shai took out. If this is not the reason, Xiao Yan is not interested in playing with him. The corners of his mouth flicked. Xiao Yan raised his eyes and looked at Mo Shai. His palm stretched forward and spread out in front of Mo Shai. Mo Shai also looked at Xiao Yan with a disdainful smile and said nothing. The thought moved, and the strange fire in Xiao Yan's body suddenly surged up. As early as before, when the two flames appeared, the strange fire in Xiao Yan's body had already been a riot. If Xiao Yan hadn't suppressed it, I'm afraid it would be impossible for the two giants to run wild in the vast sky. Poof! With a dull sound, gorgeous colored flames gushed out of Xiao Yan's palm. In an instant, the flames in the medicine tripods of all the contestants in the field suddenly went out, and the unfinished pills also turned into ashes again. On the horizon, the two flame warcraft that were still roaring at each other suddenly turned into a docile Mianyang, and their huge bodies became smaller rapidly. They flew down and circled around the strange fire in Xiao Yan's hands, making bursts of obedient roars. The eyes of Mo Shai and Wei Yi were also dull at the moment. Even Gu Li and Kai Phosphorus, who were sitting in the stands, were stunned at the moment. They stared at the flame in Xiao Yan's palm, and their eyes were shocked. After a long time, the people seemed to have made an agreement in advance and shouted in unison. Strange fire. This video will end here.